Hi guys, welcome back to Motivational Mondays. I am your beautiful host Shamiso, and today we are going to be talking about becoming episode 6. Um and this specific blog post was basically about me talking about the journey of like just growing, shine your light, and also just me growing as a person. And something that I wrote in my notes was sometimes a journey is long so that you can have the character to sustain your dream. And that is the honest truth. I think for me, I started my 1 year anniversary for Shine Your Light will be in, I think, September. So yeah, it's somewhere in my calendar. And I've been posting and doing all this stuff and shifting and having a website and doing a spoken word night and all of that stuff. I have not reached the goals that I had set at the beginning of the year. But me as a person, I've been realizing what I want Shine Your Light to become, but also what I want to do with my life and what I want to grow in as a person. And I feel like that's something that we don't acknowledge, that sometimes we focus so much on the dream that we don't focus on who we want to become. I guess that is why I started this series, Becoming, because I had to learn that outside of people following Shine Your Light, outside of people following the YouTube channel, getting a journal, all of this stuff, outside of me wanting to be president of the universe, like at the end of the day, who do I want to become? Who do I want people to remember me as when I am doing this? I personally don't want people to be looking back when I'm dead in the grave and they're like, Shami, she sucked as a person. Her business as well, but she was terrible in general. Like, I don't want that for myself. So I think I have been able to identify certain things that I want to become, what I want to grow in as a person, because it helps me know that I'm not just doing this to have followers. I'm not just doing this to become rich and famous. I'm not just doing this to help. Well, I am doing this to help people, but I am doing this because it's growing me. It's growing my character. It's forcing me to just like lean on God, like depend on God. It's forcing me to be more accountable. Like look at certain things in my character that are like, oh girl, you need to like check that. Um, I think today, I had this whole idea to have a routine, and that like went out the window. And I woke up I woke up at around 8, and I ate first. Usually, I would I clean my room, then I went to eat, and usually I would have just gone and done shiny light stuff. But it was like for me, I hadn't taken care of myself. Like I needed to eat because if I didn't eat, I would have forgotten to eat, and all of the stuff. Like after this, like I have a certain time frame of how long I work on Shine Your Light because there's so much I can do. There's so much I can organize. There's so much I can do in one day. So I usually allocate like 2 hours a day for me to just be focusing on Shine Your Light, and then the rest is just other things because outside of Shine Your Light, I am still present. And I think for me, it's always realizing that behind every business, behind every boss, there is a person. And sometimes we look at the business first, but we don't look at the person. And I think for me personally, I just want to make sure that I'm always taking care of the person behind the business, behind the brand. And that's for anything in general. Like, always consider the person, always think about yourself and think about what's working, what's healthy, what's good, what's not. I think for me, one thing that I don't think I'll ever do is share like my personal life stuff, like on the day things happen. Like, let's say if I get married, I might pull a Issa Rae, and if when I get married, I might pull a Issa Rae and be like, oh, I got married, because there's a certain level of privacy that I want to have, because I know everything I do, everything I will be doing, it's gonna just go bigger. But I also need to make sure that there's certain things that I can just have to myself, that I can just, like, I love posting stuff. I'll always post pictures. It's not like I won't post pictures and da da da. But then I think it's that sense of privacy that I want to obtain for myself, which is why sometimes I actually am not specific about certain things. I might be vague. Because sometimes people don't want their sometimes I may be open enough, but sometimes people aren't as open as me, and I need to be able to respect their boundaries and to respect what they need and what they want. So I think it's something like that, that I want to continue to have, because I've been watching Genius Aretha with the amazing Cynthia Erivo, and like she was just it was just basically showing Aretha Franklin's life and all of this stuff, and how she was going through all of these things, these highs and lows, and these changes in her career and changes in everything. But there's some things that she never talked about. I think she had like in the documentary, it was portraying that she had I think 2 teen pregnancies, and that no one ever knew that, like people in the spotlight. I think eventually people would have known because, like, this internet. But like there's certain things she kept to herself, because the thing is that if people don't know, then they don't know. Like if they don't know, they don't know, and that's perfectly fine. I think sometimes we just feel like that certain things need to be said when they don't need to be said, and yeah. So I think that's just one thing for me, where it's like learning that I don't need to put everything out there, because I want to have a certain level of like sanity to myself, but also to also know that behind the business there's a person. And I think that's why, like, I send messages on Shine Your Light, because I know that on through the DMs, like to all my followers, like, so that they know that even though you have a business title or whatever, behind behind the business, there is a person. So that's just a this conversation went left. Maybe it was supposed to go this way, but don't forget that behind the business there is a person. Take care of that person. Um, don't stress the small stuff. Everything will work itself out in due time. But yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful Monday. Here at Shine Your Light, we give you permission to shine. So go ahead and shine. Bye, guys.